Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aquarius, September 1st to the 15th, 2021, Aquarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Ooh, okay. All right. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self, the middle our heart, our emotional self, the right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. Let's see what the cards have to say. We have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy coming through. If we have Sagittarius energy within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully as a rooted energy. And we have the Moon, which is Pisces energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Pisces, or if we have this within our natal chart, it's again coming through very powerfully as a rooting energy for us. We then have the Ace of Swords. This is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift just for you. You're represented by the swords in the minor arcana, Aquarius, by the star in the major arcana. There is brilliance here, and there is a true profound gift that you are getting. We then have the Page of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, amplified here, amplifying the Pisces energy, coming very powerfully through in the inner self. And it's going to be a student. We're going to be students of our hearts and what we desire, but also of inspiration from the most unlikely of places. And then we have the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is worries, doubts, fears, and kind of getting too much in our own heads. Ooh, how many cards fell out here? Let's say this. In the heart, we have Temperance coming through again. So very strong Sagittarius energy within this time period. And this is going to come through as Sagittarius energy is rooting us. It's also going to be very emotionally leading us. We have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. If we have Taurus energy within our natal chart, that is going to be coming through very powerfully within the heart. That's a very beautiful heart combination to have, Sagittarius and Taurus. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Everything starts to change. All right. And then we have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, amplifying the Sagittarius energy that is here, but also knowing that we are coming through as a monarch, as a ruler during this time. We have the Eight of Wands in the waking world. Things happen rather quickly. And we have the King of Pentacles, prosperity, success, bounty, abundance, how we are taking this energy and moving forward with it, embracing what we want and what we need and where we're going and who it is that we are. So there is something really quite powerful being able to manifest during this time. And if we trust ourselves, and that's going to be the okay, if we can trust ourselves, Aquarius, we can see ourselves really entering into a place of prosperity, wealth, and abundance. And again, Pentacle energy is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. That's going to be coming through very powerfully within our waking world. We're going to have a really grounded energy when it comes to decisions that need to be made. We're also going to be looking at things very practically. And this can kind of go against what we've been dreaming about, and we can kind of think, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get to the place that I want to be if I'm having to be so practical all the time, or if I'm having to balance everything. This is a time where we kind of have to trust ourselves and the way divinity is leading us forward. Now, the energy that we have to be mindful of during this time is angels and spirit guides. Ooh, show me clearly. Is the Queen of Cups. We have to be mindful of people using their emotional awareness of us to manipulate us, using our emotional sensitivity. They're going to be people who use. They're going to be people who play off our better nature, who say certain things because they know it'll get our goat, or say certain things because they've kind of like sized us up. And they're going to be really good at sizing people up. And they're going to say, well, I can get this out of that person, or I can make this person feel this way if I do X, Y, Z. So this is going to be a person who kind of works in the shadows, never lets anything become too clear about them, and is emotionally astoundingly draining. So do be mindful of that. Our chakra energy for this time, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading, and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Now it's the heart chakra and the sacral chakra. Now, the sacral chakra is talking about relationships. Now, this is strengthening our relationships within our world, our relationships with others, but also our relationship with ourselves. The sacral chakra is one of my favorite chakras because it's so complex. It is the chakra energy where we hold our creative energy, where we hold our sexual energy, but it's also the chakra space where we hold the drama from this life and from past lives. And that's why we can find it very hard to create the way that we want to create, to embrace what we want to embrace in life, to have the relationships or the sexual connections that we want to have, because the trauma of the past is limiting our present. So we have to, at this time, look at things and say, how am I embracing my heart? How am I embracing this creative energy that flows through me? How does this lead me forward? And the huge part of that during this time is going to be the art of forgiveness. It's not the forgiveness of somebody else, because we are always taught, oh, you have to forgive that person who did you wrong, or we have to forgive that person to be able to move on. We can forgive that person, but with a lot of people who really wrong and who really hurt us, they won't care. They won't care if you forgive them or not. They might not even see that they've done anything wrong in their whole entire life, and you're just too sensitive and you're making things up, and and they're not going to ever care. And that's a hard pill to swallow if that's the situation. But the thing that we have to forgive, and the person that we have to forgive most of all, is ourselves. And by forgiving ourselves, we are opening up our world. We are opening up our hearts. We are opening up our lives by saying, I forgive me. I forgive me for being too young to do anything. I forgive me to being too much in love to see. I forgive me for whatever it is, for not being able to understand. Whatever it is that we need to forgive ourselves for. That's the energy that's coming through now. And that's the empowerment that's leading us and guiding us to say, I'm opening up my heart. And as we open up our hearts, and as we forgive, and as we have that power coming within us, not for anybody else, but to raise our energy vibration, to focus us forward, to lead us to a better place, a better energy vibration, a better power, that strengthens our relationships with others, but more importantly, with ourselves. It leads us then to temperance, to balance. During this time, balance is going to be so important. And it can be the thing that we don't realize transforms everything. I love that she is holding a teapot, and pouring a cup of tea. Because tea is transmutation, right? It's transformation. You pour in hot water, it soaks in the herbs or, the tea leaves, whatever you're using, and it creates tea. And so during this time, we are going to see that we need to soak in something. We need to soak in our own energy, our own understanding, our own way of processing hurts or stress or pain or disappointment or anger. And we need to let ourselves step forward. We need to embrace our hearts and our desires, but always within balance, always within honesty and integrity and brilliance and power, to say that I am steadying me. I am opening up my doors. I am leading myself forward in balance, in harmony. And it brings us to the moon as we do so. Now, bringing us to the moon is letting us know that during this time there's going to be tremendous transformation. We have the full moon, and the ebb and the flow of the moon, the way the moon connects to the tides, the way the moon changes its phases from full moon to new moon in the sky. And we're going to see here that there are many faces of us that we wear throughout our life, but even throughout a day, depending on who we're interacting with. Fear comes up during this time. How do I respond to fear? How do I respond to stress? How do I respond to anger? And why? Am I feeling okay? Because when our bodies are sick, we respond to stress differently than when our bodies are healthy. How am I letting myself move forward? How am I honoring and balancing me? That's going to be very important. And then also seeing that the things that we fear during this time are going to be the shadows that we have to look at, to see that they are only trees, that they are only the owl flying in the sky, the cat scurrying through the bushes. We start to see the shadows that become monsters as what they really are. And we own those fears. We claim those fears. And we say no more. It moves us to our inner self, the Nine of Swords. Now this can be the time that we're not sleeping well. It can be because we don't feel good. It can be because we have so much on our minds, so much to do, so much to handle, so much to juggle. We just don't feel our best. We hold our head in the hands. We could have headaches, okay? And this is going to be a time where we're going to worry. Now we can worry because, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling well and I have so much to do, or oh my gosh, I have so much to do and I'm not able to sleep and now I'm going to be stressed out while I'm doing it. Or it's just saying, take time out. Take time out and say, I steady myself. I connect myself to the earth. I connect myself to creation, to the energy of life and being and living. And I step out of worry because I can worry and worry and worry. And it will never get me anywhere. But if I embrace my peace, if I embrace my honor, if I embrace my strength of self, that will lead me forward. And then as we do this and we start to release the cloak of fear, or at least release the chaos of fear, it moves us to the Page of Cups. It moves us to this place where we're finding inspiration for the most unlikely of places, where we're standing firm in the mid of chaos of emotions, doubts, fears, as we're letting our heart chakra cloak us, wrap around us, guide us. As we're starting to see ourselves more, we're becoming more and more the students of our hearts, of what we desire, of what we love, of what we need, of how the door is opening. And it moves us then to the Ace of Swords. It moves us to taking this gift from the universe, from divinity. Again, however we say it or see it, for the divine, we take this gift. And it's a gift of insight. It's a gift of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, angers and upset. It's a gift of finding our voice and claiming our voice, claiming the power of our voice and the intensity of our voice and the understanding of our voice. It's also looking at our mind, the way that we're processing things, the way that we're taking things in, the way that we're looking at moving forward, and really honoring where we stand. It brings us then to, again, temperance. It's going to be really important during this time to balance the heart. Now, this is going to because people can easily manipulate our hearts during this time. They can use our emotions as weapons. But this is also going to be a sense of, I need to balance me, and I need to understand that I am a student of my heart and what I desire. During this time, again, we're going to have inspiration come to us in the most unlikely of places. But if we are not balanced, if we are not ready to hear it, we will hear it, and it won't mean anything. So this is a time where we have to stand in our own emotional power, where we have to stand in our own energy vibration, where we have to say very clearly, very openly, very honestly, this is me, kind of warts and all. I'm not where I want to be, or Maybe we are where we want to be. It can be that we're afraid of the change to come because we're in a really happy place and we don't want it to change. And it can be that we're afraid of the change to come because we already have so much on our plate that we're trying to get sorted out. Now, this leads us to a place of the Hierophant. This leads us to a place of when we find balance. And as we find balance, the Hierophant is saying, be true to yourself. Be true to what you need, to what you desire. Be true to what is intrinsically important to you. Do not change yourself to better fit anybody else. Look at your heart. Also, be true to your traditions. It doesn't mean that we have to follow an orthodoxy. It can be that we really start to go against that orthodoxy to say, but this is me. This is who I am. This is how I express myself. This is how I love. This is how I see the world. This is what I need. And to open up that door and say, but this is me. And to do so powerfully, intentionally, openly, and honestly becomes a game changer. It also, for our hearts, it's like, what am I married to? It can be a person. Yes, we can say, okay, well, I'm married to this person. I have these responsibilities. But that's not necessarily what divinity is saying here. When it says, what are we married to? What is it in us that if we walked away from it, it would be devastating an oath, devastating something sacred within us that guides us forward? What is it here that is being illuminated, that it is detangling, de-stressing, decluttering? What is throwing us out of balance and letting us deeper connect more deeply with our hearts? It moves us to the Wheel of Fortune. It moves us to the fact that everything is changing and we're entering into this new season. And it's like, finally I enter into this season of change. Finally, I open up this door. It's kind of like clearing away the cobwebs. It's really what I'm seeing here. And I walk through, and it's more than time. It's more than time to embrace something magnificent and beautiful and challenging and in line with who we are and where we want to be. The Wheel of Fortune comes, and this is change that we feel we can't control because we can't. But it is change that guides us and loves us and moves with us. And it brings us then to the Queen of Wands. It brings us to being this person of strength and of power and of passion and of insight and of understanding. It brings us to being this person who says, I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves. I'm not afraid to really embrace what I love and why I love it. I'm not afraid to say, this is what I want and this is where I'm headed and this is why. And I let myself shine. I always love that Spirit equates this for me to the goddess Hestia in Greek mythology. She was the goddess who could have been one of the main goddesses in the Olympic pantheon. But what she was is a lesser god, because they were going to have a war. After defeating the Titans, they were then going to have another war, the Olympians, to say, okay, because there has to be equal amount of men and women, who's going to be the top? Who's going to be the best? And Hestia said, I'm done fighting. I didn't want this fight to begin with. I'm done with this. And she said, I will step down. And because she stepped down, she was worshipped in every single Greek and Roman home. She was the hearth. The hearth is the center of the home to this day. And so she is the center. And she's the warmth. And she's the beauty that we are still attracted to. So kind of like when you're at a restaurant and they have a fire going, everybody likes to sit near the fire, especially in winter. And so here, we're embracing that sense of the hearth, and the sense of the eternal fire that guides us and warms us and sustains us and moves us. It brings us then to change that comes because we're letting that fire shine within us. And the Eight of Wands is like, I'm moving forward with it. Everything is changing. Everything is guiding me. It is moving me. It is empowering me. It is, bringing me to the next level. The Eight of Wands is like, I'm going for it. And as I'm going for it, it brings us to the King of Pentacles. It brings us to this place of prosperity and success, bounty and greater understanding. It brings us to this place of the opening of the door and the moving forward of the self. And as we embrace the King of Pentacles, we start to see what we have been nourishing over time, the challenges that we have been facing to make us stand strong within ourselves, to make us open up the doors, to have us believing in ourselves, to have us claiming our wealth and our power. During this time, people are going to see us as successful. The trick will be to see ourselves as successful, Aquarius, to find that balance within ourselves, to not let fear overwhelm, and to open up the heart to the harmony and to the truthfulness of who we are and where we want to be. If we can do that, we become unstoppable. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's a chariot. It's letting the heart run away with us, and it's also letting people run away with the good intentions of our heart, manipulate us, hurt us, overpower us. This is Cancer energy. Now, it's interesting that we have the Queen of Cups to be mindful of, and then we have Cancer, which is a water sign energy. So really being mindful of the way our hearts lead us forward and why. It's kind of like, as we become a student of our heart, it's like, okay, well, why am I heading this way? Why do I want this? How will this enhance me, serve me, guide me forward? Is it for me or is it for somebody else? It leads us then to our chakra energy, which is the inner child. And it's the heart chakra. And what I love whenever the heart chakra comes up is to do the simple exercise of visualizing ourselves as children. But not as the children or the child when we were, at our peak, when we were doing everything great. But when things were hard, when we needed an adult to listen to us, when we felt teased or awkward or, gangly or, nerdy within our own childhood, within our own youth. And this could also be adolescence. And just holding our arms up, or holding our arms out to the child that we were and saying, I'm here for you. And giving that child a hug. And saying, I'm here for you. I'm listening to you. I love you. I got you. And I will never turn my back from you. It leads us to our subconscious rooted energy, which is the Fool. It is following our path forward. It is saying that every single hero's journey begins with a foolish step, begins with mocking and doubting, and people saying, don't be a fool. And now it's time to follow. It's time to follow the rabbit. It's time to go after what we need and what we want and where it is that we want to be. And it doesn't matter if everybody thinks it's foolish. That's fine. It's not their cup of tea, but it gets to be yours. And that cup of tea is what brings us balance, what brings us harmony, what has transformed us. It brings us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the 10 of Cups. And they all live happily ever after. And what I love about this 10 of Cups is that it always makes me think of the Nordic saying, better to be king of a cottage than servant in a castle. So often, especially in our world now, but forever, we always strive for more. You're never going to be satisfied, right? People always say, the carrot always gets pushed down. People are never satisfied. They're always striving for more. They're always going after more. And that's fine. But now is time to say, I am satisfied with who I am, with what I want to achieve within my life. It doesn't have to be the mansion. It doesn't have to be the fanciest cars. What it is a contented, quiet life. Having what you love. And saying, this is what I love. It doesn't have to be what another person loves. It doesn't have to be, wife and husband or whatever and children. It could just be, I want to be happy. I want to be free. I want to be able to travel when I want to. I want to be able to explore when I want to. And embracing that. And saying, this is what happiness looks like for me. So often we look at happiness and then we hear everybody else saying, oh, this makes me so happy, or, oh, this is exactly how I'm supposed to be happy, and I'm so happy with being happy in the way that I'm supposed to be happy, and you have to be happy just like this. Because if I have to do it, you have to do it too. It's like, why? Why? Embrace what makes you happy. If you're coming from a place of love and positivity, if you're coming from a place of honor and steadiness of soul, let yourself shine. Let yourself move forward. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is, again, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have a soulmate connection that's coming here that we can feel, but it's kind of like pulling away a little bit because they're not of the same deck during this time. This is amplifying a Taurus energy, so do be mindful of that. What we're going to see here is nurturing that which we are most passionate about, nurturing that which is beautiful and powerful and meaningful to us. People see us as very successful during this time. Even if it's in just one little thing that we think, oh, well, who cares about that? Who's watching this? No, they see us as successful. Let that success shine. It moves us then to our subconscious inner selves, which is the Three of Swords. In the inner self, as things change, as we embrace our prosperity, as we claim the King of Pentacles, we look at the hurt, the pain, the disappointment that has held us back, that has kept us silent, that has denied us. And as we understand this, as we look at the pain that has shaped us, the pain that we say, oh, I'm this, brokenness first before anything else, we now are separating ourselves, not from it, but we're separating ourselves from letting the pain rule us. And what we're doing is we're claiming the passion and the power of us. We're claiming the way that we're opening up the door and going after what we love and what we want. And as this happens, and as we do this, our pains become the weapons that we wield, become the power that we have. Because we've taken that which has made us uncomfortable, that which has made us depressed or anxious or absolutely ruined our lives at one point or another, and we're claiming it and saying, this is why nobody can defeat me, because I stood through this hell, and now I stand in my power. And people see it. Things start to change really quickly during this time, Aquarius, and you can absolutely get caught up in it. That's why balance is going to be so important, to stay centered in the midst of moving forward in this storm. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the balance and the blessing that is to come. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius.